Hello, I'm Seth Johnson with Land a House. So in today's tiny house video, we're going to be making the door for our compost toilet area. What I'm going to do is use this 2x6 8-foot board, and I'm going to cut it into 4 2-foot sections. The dimensions of the door are 21 inches by 29 inches, and so I'm going to take some wood for the top and bottom of the door to add up to that 29 inch. So let's get started. I'm going to mark out every 2 feet here. Use our old faithful circular saw here. The size of the door we need is 21 inches, but all of these add up to 22, so I need to rip this down to 21, which I probably can use my speed square at the 1 inch mark here, and just run this along. Well, I'm away from my table saw, so I need to cut this 1 inch off, rip it I suppose, with my circular saw. So I've got it clamped to a table, and we'll see if we can keep a straight edge here. Now I have to move the clamp here. Very nice. I have a couple of scraps here that I'm going to use to get the top and bottom of the little door. So, need to cut off a 1/2 inch here on this piece. With a new battery, I'm afraid. Now I'm going to lay the door out here in the way that it's going to be installed. I may have to trim this one down a tad. It's sticking out just a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and take my speed square here and mark 4 metal rods to go through. So we're going to take a long drill bit and go through 2 boards at a time so that the holes match up. Let's put it right here. Okay, I got that board trimmed down a little bit. So now I'm going to use this clamp here. This is a Beasley clamp. It's been coming in handy lately. I'm just going to make sure this thing stays right where it should be. This thing gets really hot and kind of melts the wood onto the bit. So I've found I've got to use a rock or something and break that off of there. Once you've been through both boards on the top and bottom, just remove your clamp, set board number 1 to the side, and then connect number 3 with your clamp. Sounds like somebody's using the day after Christmas ammunition up here. It's disturbing some dogs too. So to install the metal threaded rods through here, I'm going to be using a socket set. And so in order to hide the nut, I'm going to use a 5/8 wood bit, and that just gets this kind of out of the way. Well, right here, whenever I was drilling through all of these, it veered off a little bit. So you can see it's kind of dug out from that drill bit. But what I'm going to do now is stick this bar through to make sure all of our holes line up. Okay. Hopefully they do. That one looks good. That one's nice. Ah, very nice. Okay, I'm gonna stick this to the end here so I can measure to see what I need to cut this metal bar at here. Okay, I've got this marked here. See if we can get this cut in half. Have both of those threaded rods in. So now, time to start putting this thing together. What I'm going to do is use this wood glue here and put it on one side. Oops. So, nice generous coat here, and then put the next one down on it. Maybe. Ah, there we go. Okay. And then once again, more on here. Very nice. Now, I'm going to take some of this hardware here. Oops. And start these down in here. Now the fun part is, how am I going to get this other end to stay put here? Might be able to reach it with these channel locks. Well, I went ahead and got those metal rods in there, and this thing is solid. So next we're going to use these pieces here as top and bottom. Now I'm going to take a wood bit and a drill bit and attach these from the bottom and from the top with wood glue in between. So just going to take this and that's roughly halfway. So whenever the screw's in here, it'll have enough to go through both. So now, I'm going to take just a regular bit and go the rest of the way through here. Doesn't quite go through like I was hoping it would. So this is going to be a compost toilet, and so there's going to be some fumes, I imagine, at some point. So I'm going to drill a hole through the door and put this 1-inch PVC pipe with connectors, and that's going to be a vent. And so it elbows down so the rain won't be able to get in here, and I'll probably just put a little screen over for bugs. So I'm going to use this 1 3/8 drill bit here and just push a hole in here. Let's see, which side's going to be opening to the outside? I'm thinking probably this side will be hinges. So let's put it a little further out here. Thinking about like this. Okay. Now that that's through, I'm gonna flip it over here. Come from this side. All right. That's not bad. Now let's see if this thing fits in here. Oh yeah, very nice. Let's see if I can get this thing to tighten down enough. Sounds like a donkey. You hear that? Strange. Alright, so what I'd like to be able to do is maybe get a grip on. Can you even see that? Well, didn't quite get it. It's maybe 1/4 of an inch still before being tight. So I'm going to try just plopping some wood glue in here. Maybe that'll hold it tight. I'll let that sink in there. Well, I let everything sit overnight for the glue to finish setting up. Now I'm going to be using this slide action bolt for the latch to keep this thing closed. So I want it to come up 11 inches here, and that's where I'm going to put my holes for this thing. So just make a little mark here. Okay, let's see. I'm thinking somewhere around here. I'll put one down here. Okay. This bolt came with carriage bolts, so it's smooth on one side, and that allows this to fit over here so it won't bang against it when it slides. Just take a washer and nut on the back side here. These carriage bolts are also nice because they have a little piece that holds it in the hole. So you only have to use one tool to get it tightened on here. Ooh. That wasn't thought out, was it? Didn't bring any wrenches with me today. Now it's time to install the hinges. Never installed a hinge before. Should be rather interesting. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I'm going to come up 5 inches. So that's where I want the bottom of the hinge to start here. Okay. So I'm just going to place this here on this edge, and since the hinge is about the same size as the door, I just have to mark both sides here. Then I'm going to use a razor knife and put a cut in here. Now Take my chisel here and see about getting some of this material out of here. I like to build my hinges into knots because it makes the experience just that much more enjoyable to chisel out. Everyone loves knots. Alright, I got that pretty well flushed there. So now it's time to get this set up for putting the screws in. So I'm just going to take a pencil here, or I should say a pen. Okay. And I've got a drill bit that's really tiny. I might want a screwdriver. I was just noticing that these hinges open with a pin from the outside. So if somebody really wants to get in here, they'll be rudely awakened when they find out it's just a compost toilet. Okay, I got the latch on. Also got the hinges on and the vent. Now I'm going to hit this with some sandpaper and begin getting this ready for painting. So I've got a 180 grit here. I'm just going to go over it a few times for the whole thing. Alright, everything is sanded down. So now it's time for the primer. But before we can get into that, I want to keep my hardware from getting painted. So I'm just going to toss some masking tape around here. I'm also going to tape up these hinges to prevent them from getting painted on. I went to Lowe's and asked them what kind of paint I need, and they said the first thing I've got to do is use a primer because the color that I've selected, actually Ashley selected it, it's a dark red and it has to have a darker primer, so he added some gray to this. So let's just apply this real quick. Might as well be liberal with it since I've got it, and it costs a small fortune. That's looking nice. Let's see if I can flip this thing over here and start the other side. This air vent that I installed is kind of allowing me to not have it touching the ground here. Yeah, not bad. This has actually turned into a 3-day project, but it's gotta be done. Well, it's been several hours and the primer has dried, and so I moved inside to start doing the first coat of our red paint. It's the first time I've seen it. I think it's gonna look nice. So my lovely girlfriend Ashley picked out the color. I asked her to pick out what she liked, because my interior, exterior color decorating skills are kind of poor. And the compost toilet door is finished. How cool is that? Actually, I have to put one more coat of paint, but it's basically done. The main thing that I would change in this build is the depth that I drilled these holes for the metal rods to go through. Had I left that maybe a 1/2 inch less deep, my tools would have fit in there a lot better. Took about 30 minutes to get those tight when it should have taken all of 2 minutes. But I love the color. Front door is going to be the same. And can't wait to install this thing. So, thanks for watching this video. I'm Seth Johnson with Land a House, and I will see you next time. Bye. I guess this will show us how well I positioned these hinges here.